It's getting dark significantly later now, and it's warmer outside. Spring is in full swing. The snow has already melted. The first truly warm sun rays warm us until 8 o'clock, and we've come alive along with the whole world. Now, eagerly awaiting the end of classes, we walked home for a long time, talking about trivial things, seeing off classmates, and only reluctantly parting ways afterwards. And in most cases, a couple of hours later, we were back on the street again, bringing our bikes along. This time it started the same way. Towards evening, we poured out onto the street because Sam, my best friend, had discovered some old abandoned place with a bad reputation. Honestly, I didn't want to go, especially since I have an English test tomorrow, but someone else went. Her name was Abby. Anyway, I thought screw it, screw English. It was warm enough outside. When I arrived on my bike, everyone was gathered, and we immediately headed to the designated place. We have to go over the bridge here, and it's there, not far from the private sector. Sam explained, I don't know what it used to be, information varies, but they say some bad stuff happens there. I didn't want to go through the bridge into the private sector, the settlement, Rosinka. It's full of thugs, drunks, and other antisocial personalities, but what can you do? We crossed the bridge and rode along the country road, during which time I made several attempts to catch up with Abby and start a conversation, but she wasn't in the mood, as usual. Another 20 minutes of riding, and we finally realized we were lost. Sam spent a long time poking at the map app on his phone, scratching his head, covered with a mass of red hair, occasionally swearing. The other guys tried to help him, but Abby for some reason kept getting angry and saying she wanted to go home. Okay, got it. Sam put his phone away and grinned widely. We have about 10 more minutes to go. We'll get there soon, see what's inside, and head straight home. We won't stay long. He looked closely at Abby and added, I promise. The sun was setting, the wind picked up slightly. I zipped up my hoodie all the way to my throat and pulled the hood over my head. It was getting chilly. The abandoned building was surrounded by a tall, partially collapsed fence with barbed wire in some places. We stopped near one of these holes and looked at the building. It was 5 stories high, slightly tilted, but nothing out of the ordinary. I wonder why they fenced it off, someone asked from behind. We'll find out soon enough, Sam replied, looking around, and then asked, So, shall we go? But our plans were thwarted thanks to Abby. She stomped her feet and blurted out, No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm freezing and I want to go home, not wander around your construction sites. But we've already arrived, Nastya. Sam tried to object. Let's just go for 5 minutes. No, I'm leaving. Who's coming with me? Another girl from our group decided to leave with Abby, along with another guy under the pretext, we can't leave the girls alone, can we? What idiots. So it was just Sam and I left, pridefully deciding to thoroughly explore the place, damn us. The sun was almost set. It was getting gloomy outside and the cold, howling wind pierced through. We quickly reached the entrance, secured our bikes to some pipe, and slowly went inside. It was dark, you could hardly see a thing, but Sam efficiently pulled out a flashlight and illuminated the way. Dirt, scattered bricks, rocks, garbage. It seemed like mice or something larger were rustling somewhere. It was scary. But I didn't show it, and neither did Sam, I suppose. I think there's a staircase over there. He pointed somewhere into the darkness. Shall we go? Let's, I whispered barely audibly, but there was no staircase there. Dead end. Scattered reinforcements. What if there are homeless people here? Or some Satanists? They might beat us with these sticks. Brr. We found the staircase in the opposite direction, according to our senses, somewhere near the entrance. Some steps were half collapsed, and there was a dead rat lying on one of them. Oh God, Abby would probably faint right here. You know, suddenly said Sam, horrors usually don't end well. And for some reason, those seemingly harmless words sent a shiver down my spine. At least we won't have to take the English test, I replied, and we nervously chuckled. It was even darker and somehow stuffier on the second floor. The trembling beam of the flashlight dissolved within a couple of meters, and Sam, directing it towards the floor, led us closer. The beam only picked up dusty concrete slabs, syringes, and suddenly, right under our feet, we saw, seemingly fresh, not yet gnawed by rats, a human hand. Damn, a real one. And judging by how well it was preserved, it couldn't have been there for more than a few hours. Without exchanging a word, we looked at each other. and even though we could barely see anything, I felt like I could see Sam's eyes wide with horror. The hair on my back stood up. Without a word, we slowly backed away towards the stairs, and then, as if with all our might, rushed down. Jumping 4 steps at a time, we flew downstairs, the flashlight beam bouncing from corner to corner, my heart pounding furiously. Once we passed the stairs, we ran towards the exit, or at least to the place where it was supposed to be, but it wasn't there. We just hit a wall. "Along the wall, hurry," I shouted. But no, it wasn't anywhere at all. It seemed like we circled the building 3 times. "Ah!" Sam screamed, banging his hands against the wall. "Let us out! Let us in, damn it! Quiet!" I grabbed him by the neck and covered his mouth with my hands. "Don't attract attention, you idiot." But he struggled, bit. Tears streamed down his cheeks. He kicked me hard on the knee, broke free, and with a wild roar he ran upstairs for some reason. It was pure madness. I leaned against the wall and slid down. It was stuffy, so stuffy. Sam's cries were no longer audible. He disappeared somewhere up there amidst the dust, syringes, dead rats, and people. And here I sat, unable to explain what was happening, cursing myself for coming here. I knew it would end badly someday. I prayed, even though I never knew how to pray. I just muttered incoherent words to God under my breath and desperately imagined that there was a way out. There it was, ahead of me, straight into the wall. From above came a heavy rumble, which I periodically heard again later, and which still comes to me in nightmares. The exit before me, I repeated it like a mantra, with bright sunlight and fresh air. Sometimes I would lose myself, as if falling asleep. Sometimes it seemed like the exit was truly before me. Just reach out your hand. And sometimes I would come to, realizing where I was, and everything would contract inside me. Tears welling up in my eyes. It all jumbled up in my head. The exit, the darkness, the rumble, the light. Sam. Where did he disappear to? They found me when the first ray of light touched the walls of the abandoned building. Coincidence? My parents along with the kids who were with us. Nastya. At first I thought it was hallucinations, like the phantom exit that disappeared immediately. But this was real. It turned out the exit was in the corner, completely opposite from where I was, but I swear there was none there yesterday. Sam, as it turned out, died that night, and that rumble was probably a prolonged death moan. He stumbled and hit his head on something. There were investigations. They checked for drug use for a long time, but found nothing. I still visit psychologists. My friends are very supportive, constantly visiting, but I've become different, completely lost myself in this life. Sam died physically, and I mentally. I know that at that moment it was my blind and absolutely illogical belief in the existence of an exit that saved me from death. Or maybe prayers? Anyway, now I envy Sam, because every goddamn time I'm alone with myself, especially in the darkness, it feels like I'm still sitting there, hugging myself and imagining that I survived. I'm very afraid of waking up there again someday, and most of all, after death.